Welcome
Happy holidays.
You're worse.
Okay.
I'm keeping that in. Welcome to another episode of the Blue Crew, a New York Rangers. That's going to scare everyone listening. A New York Rangers podcast on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jonny Lazarus, joined by my immature and good friend, Cody Frankel, co-host of the show. It's going to be a different episode today. It's holiday season. I'm sitting, on my parents' couch right now. My dad's going to walk in any minute with our lunch. Cody's, I think, is still in his apartment. Are you home or in your apartment?
I'm in my apartment.
You're in your apartment? Are you staying there for the holidays, or what's your deal?
No, we're going to Florida next week, remember?
No, I don't remember. I didn't know your Christmas plan, though.
No, we're chilling in.
Oh, yeah. Aren't you going to the game on New Year's Day?
No, that's Alex and AJ. You're close.
Got
You're
it.
close.
Got it.
But I'm meeting up with them, though. We're grabbing dinner.
Yeah, you travel every week, so it's kind of hard to keep track of your schedule.
Dude, don't hate it. Love it. But
today we're going to be welcoming on two of our listeners. We thought it'd be like a good time to kind of make it a communal episode. I know a lot of people do ask to come on, and we'd love to have everyone on, but there's only so few that we could do, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna have Jacob Fortgang and Max Reilly on today. We're gonna just kind of shoot the shit with them, talk to them about the Ranger season, ask them some questions, maybe have them ask us some questions. But that's really all I've got to kick things off. Cody, do you want to bring anything up?
Yeah, let's. No, but yeah, let's go into the this week's slate that we just played. Two good teams in the Penguins and Islanders, and I thought it was a very good week for us. I thought against the Penguins, we lost 2-1. Jari stood on his head. That's
3-2. I didn't even watch.
3-2. You're right. You're right. You know what? It was like 2-1 until the mid third, whatever. But 3-2. Jari stood on his head. He played a great game. We should have won that game. We outplayed them. I think there was maybe a 10-minute span in like the second period where they started out playing us, and I was getting a little nervous. And then we bounced right back, and we were playing. We just couldn't get that extra goal. That being said, we went toe-to-toe with them, and they're one of the best in the league. So I think that's like really, really promising. And before I get into the Islanders with you, I mean, we've played now, I don't know, I think we're like 9-2-1 or something in our last 12. And I would say 11 of those have been against playoff teams. So that's like incredibly encouraging for this squad. And it's just so crazy how something can turn around from being so negative to so positive in a matter of like 2 weeks.
Well, that's what we were waiting for, right? Like,
yeah,
honestly, it's so funny too, right? Because we have Arthur Staple come on the show last year.
Yeah.
Trouba has that hit on Crosby, changed the whole series. We have Arthur Staple come on this year. Trouba has the 2 fights, throws his helmet, changes the whole season. So, like, I think every team just kind of looks for that one thing to, turn things around. Like, we knew the Rangers had the capability to turn it around. Like, we knew this inconsistent losing play wasn't going to be sustainable. We knew at some point they'd turn things around, but what was going to be that spark? And, what better spark can you ask for than your captain kind of stepping up and challenging the team and saying, wake the fuck up. What are we doing here? So, I think that's obviously a great sign, and people were questioning, whether Trouba was the right fit for captain after he was named captain. But he I think he himself, you were going to talk about it, has turned things around on his own with his own play the last, 10 or so games as well. So, like, maybe he needed that little boost also.
Yeah, I mean, I really commend him. It's not an easy job being the captain of a New York team. Nonetheless, shout out to Aaron Judge. Let's go, baby. No, seriously. I mean, we were kind of dead in the water, right? We were playing horrible, and it took a 5-1 or 5-2, whatever it was, ass kicking from the Hawks for, that spark to be lit. And Trouba did it. I mean, like, you could say what you want about, whether it did or didn't ignite the team. But, I mean, I don't know what more you can ask for than your captain getting thrown out of the game, chucking his helmet across, hyping up the fans, hyping up the crowd, the players, and on top of that, Trouba has played immensely better. He has played immensely better since that helmet throw. I know he had a brutal and very rough start to the season, and, every fan, myself included, have been critical of his play. Since then he has, 2 or 3 goals. He's been getting assists. He's making hits. He's making plays. Like, Keandre Miller's been playing so much better with him. Like, even though he's been like shuffling a little bit with him, like, he's been playing better. So I think it not only lit like the team, but it also kind of gave him a spark in a way as well.
Yeah, I think it turned everything around. I think that's pretty safe to say. I think everyone can kind of agree on that. It's not like they've, honestly, it's weird because it's not like they've been playing better. honestly, like in my mind, they were still playing better earlier in the season. They just weren't scoring goals.
I don't think you know what you're saying right now.
No, I know exactly what I'm saying. Like they're not necessarily dominating or outplaying teams like they were earlier, and the goals just weren't happening. Like they're kind of playing pretty even to their opponent for most nights, and Igor is just playing much better than he was earlier in the year, and pucks are going in. Like, it's not like they necessarily dominated the Islanders. Like it was a pretty back and forth game.
Yes, it was, but they're doing what they did last year.
They're finding ways to win.
Finding ways to win.
Yeah,
exactly. So,
but I still think earlier in the season they were more dominant. They just weren't.
They dominated they significantly outplayed the Penguins. They just lost. Like I watched that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what was happening. Like they were outplaying teams and just not winning games. But
sure, to start the season, but then they had a 20-game stretch where they were playing pretty bad. Like they had that 20-game stretch where they were like maybe 5.
But not for the whole 60 minutes.
No. But that's been a big thing. There was
like a 5-10 minute span where they just fell apart.
Sure, but that's a big thing. That's I've been incredibly vocal about this. I think you have as well. Like playing 60 minutes of hockey is one of the most important things you can do in an NHL game, and they were not doing that. So finding ways to do that and, figuring out the endurance part and things like that, like that's huge. So yeah, I mean, you're right in that sense, but they definitely had, a 15 to 20 game stretch where they were not playing good hockey for portions of the night that were killing them, right? Mm-hmm. Like that Hawks game was pathetic, right? And then they come back, they play the Hawks again, and they absolutely destroy them because that's how it should have been the first time around. So all in all, I mean, they're playing good. Things are good in New York right now. I don't think you can complain about it at all. But I did want to ask you, like, where do you think right now, where things currently stand, like, where do we stack against the rest of the league?
Against the rest of the league?
Yeah.
I think I still don't think that the Rangers right now are a top 8 team in the league. I consider them maybe 9 or 10. I don't know if they're.
I don't know how you can say that though. They manhandled the Leafs when we were there. Okay. They beat the Devils. They beat the Islanders. They beat the Knights, who not only did they
beat teams doesn't mean they're better. Because they beat teams doesn't mean they're better. And they beat the Knights without Eichel and without Pietrangelo.
Oh, cry about it. So here's the thing. They beat all I'm saying is to say they're not a top 8 team, completely disagree. I can't name 7 teams that I'm like, toe-to-toe with the Rangers in a 7-game series, they're beating the Rangers because I don't think they are. I don't think there are 7 teams you could say who are beating the Rangers. Like right now.
Well, we're talking the league as a whole, right? Not just the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, exactly. And out of every single game we've played this season, I don't think any team we played, I was like, damn, we just can't keep up with this team outside of the Bruins. Like, and even against the Bruins in those first 30 minutes, we played pretty even matched against them and then just fell apart, right? But that was very early in the season. Like right now, if you're asking me, I mean, the Bruins, sure. If you want to say the Leafs, because I know you do, sure.
Okay, maybe they're top. I think you're wrong. Stretch. I'd say they're
top
thinking
4,
about it now.
fine.
Thinking about it now, they're in the top 8.
Okay.
I regret that statement.
Thank you. Top 4, I would agree with you. Top 4, I would for sure.
You think they're 5?
I think they're top 6. I think they're top 6. You can make the argument for 5 or 6. I think right now, if you're looking at the league, like the teams who I see them playing in a 7-game series against and having a lot of trouble. I mean, Carolina is always going to be there, right?
Yeah. Carolina's like the hottest team in the league right now.
Yeah. Boston right now, the way they're playing is just ridiculous. Yeah. Okay. If you want to say Toronto, you can. I don't know if Toronto, I know they're more skilled, but I don't know if they would beat the Rangers in a 7-game series, if I'm being completely honest.
No, that's 50-50 for me. That's a coin flip.
Okay. Vegas, I know they're playing really well too, but I still think we're the better team. The other 2 teams who I would say right now, I just don't see it is probably Tampa and probably the Avs, even though both of them are, they're playing pretty similar to us right now, right? I think we all 3 of us have just about the same record, something like that. But to me, those are the 4 teams that I'm like, all right, if we played in a 7-game series against them right now, I don't know if we could beat them. We need to figure some things out. But I think anyone else and you can make the argument for a 5th team, but I think for sure we're in the top 6, in my opinion, at least.
So you had Boston, Toronto,
No, I didn't have Toronto.
Oh, you didn't have Toronto. You had
No, Toronto's the 5th team, right? You can make
Carolina, Boston,
Carolina, Boston, Tampa, and Colorado
Tampa,
are the 4.
Colorado.
Yeah.
So like, I know you're not a late night West Coast hockey guy.
Uh-huh.
One team that's been really fun to watch.
You're going to say the Kings, right?
No, I'm actually going to say Dallas.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Dallas has looked really good this year. Ottinger's been one of the best goalies in the league.
I know that's
Robertson's been on fire. Dallas has been really scary this year. And they've been really fun to watch. Like, I actually watch them quite a bit when they're on TV. Honestly, I'm not going to say the Kraken the Rangers are better than the Kraken, but the Kraken have been really fun to watch also. But I'm saying, so the best teams in the league right now.
Winnipeg's been good too.
Winnipeg's been really good too, but right now Hellebuck's out. And as far as the Avs go, McKinnon and Landeskog are both out. McKinnon's going to be out, 4 to 6 weeks. He's been out for a while already.
Look at it in a sense of April.
Like right
May.
now?
Like, no. Look at it in a sense of April, May. Like, our end game is obviously to win the cup. It's always been to win the cup. You got to look at it in under the microscope of like, all right, who's going to be in our way? West Coast teams are really hard to gauge because Dallas could be rolling and then Ottinger can go on a cold streak and they're out in round 1. You know what I mean? So it's like the West teams are a lot harder to try and predict who's better than us and who's not. So that's why for me, like the only team I could say with clarity is like probably the Avs. But the East is a lot easier because those are teams we're going to have to go through. Those are teams we know well. We're going to have to play. We watch them play all season long, whether it's, against the Rangers or just watching them to watch the game. So to me, it's easier to like determine what other East teams might, be tough to match up against.
So I definitely take back my previous statement. The Rangers are for sure in the top 8. The teams that are ahead of them that scare me, I'd say, number 1 in the league, obviously, we talked about it, Boston.
Yeah.
I think right now Carolina is the scariest team in the league. Not scariest, but the hottest. After them, after those two, Dallas for me is right up there.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
And a healthy Vegas team, they've been really hot too. But Vegas doesn't scare me as much because I don't really believe in Logan Thompson in net. He's a rookie
goaltender. Yeah, so, that's very true.
After that, like I don't think the Devils right now are a better team than the Rangers.
Same.
We're talking, were they more consistent up to the month of December? Yes.
Yeah.
I'm after watching. I didn't watch the Rangers Penguins game, but I've watched a lot of the Penguins this year, and I do think Pittsburgh might have the slight edge over the Rangers right now.
It's a good argument, and it's kind of similar to the Leafs argument where they're a team I can see. Like Pittsburgh, Toronto are 2 teams. Those are probably the 2 teams I could see. If you want to say you put them against ahead of the Rangers, I can see the argument for it. But I can also see the argument for why you would elect to go on our side as well.
Yeah. Jari's also been playing really well.
Yeah.
Like, he's having a really good year. Like for me, I don't think, Matt Murray's had a decent season, but he's been hurt for most of it. Samsonov's been solid also for Toronto, but like those aren't guys that I'm like,
Well, you want to hear something that's insane? You want to hear an insane stat real quick? So I'm pretty sure like 8 out of the top 10 teams in the league are in the East. And I'm not talking about
the West hasn't been great.
I'm not talking about like just standings. I'm talking about like pure best teams are probably in the East. And it's like, it's so crazy. If you look at like the last 10 games for the East compared to the West, it's nuts, right? Carolina, 9-0-1, Pittsburgh, 8-1-1, Rangers, 8-2, Washington, 9-1, Boston, 7-1-2, Toronto, 7-2-1, Tampa 7-3, and even Buffalo 7-2-1. Like that's insane.
Buffalo's creeping up, man.
That's insane. So it's like, it makes you think like, and this would never ever happen, especially in today's NHL. But like, I wish there was like a button you could push and it would like randomize shuffle all the teams in the league because it's just unfair where it is right now that the East is so good and the West is so not. Like, you know what I mean? Like the West has good teams, but they don't match up against the East. I mean, outside of Colorado, if you want to make the case for Dallas and Vegas, sure, fine. But like any other teams besides that, I mean, compared to some of these East teams, it's just like not fair, in my opinion.
And it's funny too, because I feel like 5 years ago, it was the exact opposite. Like I feel like the West was so much stronger than the East.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's, like you just said, it's flip-flops. But, to your point, like, A lot of these teams are playing well. I'm still on the the case that the Sabres are going to sneak in somehow. The Sabres have the best offense in the league for like.
It's just so tough.
Month.
I mean, it's just so tough to say they will, because like, who are they getting in over? I mean, the Metro is the most unforgiving division in hockey, and then the Atlantic is playing really well right now. I could see them like surpassing Detroit, because Detroit's still a little young. I know they got Giroux. I know they got. No, they don't have Giroux. Sorry. I don't know why I said that. That's
right now.
I meant they got Cop. I know they got Cop, and I know they made some, some good moves, but like, I feel like they're a team I could see like slowly falling off. They're still pretty young, whatever, but like, I just don't know who else Buffalo would get in over.
Well, I don't know if the Caps are going to keep it up.
They're an easy team to ride off. I feel like we always do that, but they always get there, man. They always get there. And like,
Buffalo, they're also getting Backstrom and Wilson back soon, but like, I don't know. The Caps, to me, like, I don't know what to think of them.
But
like,
Buffalo does this every year, man. I don't know if you've noticed.
What do you mean they've stunk?
Every year, like the first 30 games, Buffalo has a positive record, and then they finish. Last year, dude. They started out, I think, in the first 20 games, they were like.
I think it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they were
whatever. They were like 15-5 or something like that, and they ended up finishing with like 78 points. Like, they do this shit all the time. I'm not convinced. That being said, Tage Thompson is actually ridiculous, and I'm not slighting him whatsoever. I just don't think that team is like ready for the big leagues yet. I just don't see it. I don't know who they would get in over. Like, if you want to make a case for the Devils sticking it out throughout the rest of the season,
I think like the Devils might fall off.
Sure, but like that, I could see. Like, I could see them like just getting in, whatever. But like, dude, the Caps are around. The Islanders are back. I mean, it's going to be tough, and it's going to be. And another team is like Florida hasn't kicked up yet. They've been terrible.
They've been terrible.
So they're
terrible.
They've been terrible, and they're only 3 games out of a spot right now. So it's like, same thing people were looking at with us. Like, I'm sure their fans are just waiting for them to kick it into their next gear. So
Buffalo also has 4 games in hand over Washington right now.
Yeah, I feel like everybody has games in hand over us right now because we've played a lot.
We played 35.
Yeah, like Pittsburgh has 33.
Yeah, that's like more. Yeah, it's more than most teams.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that Boston is 8 points ahead of the next closest team in the league, and they have games in hand on everyone. It's wild.
They're playing insane. But this was good. I think we we covered a lot here.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into what I'm dying to argue before we send
do it
to our guests?
Yeah, do it.
So I didn't even know this was even an argument. Like I thought, for the most part, everyone that goes to Ranger games knew the goal song was just go. And I didn't know
whoa.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing until after, what was it, the Ranger Islander game where excuse me, Valley, I think Samantha, who follows us on Twitter, tweeted about it, and Valley talked about it being goal, but a lot of people are passionate about it. I'm very passionate about it being goal, but a lot more people than I thought are passionate about it being whoa.
Yeah.
And apparently it's like an age thing where at like post 9/11 people are saying goal, and pre 9/11 everyone said whoa, like that was the thing. I don't know when it changed.
If you were born post 9/11.
I don't really know. I saw
you weren't born post 9/11.
No, I know, but I was taught goal from my first Ranger game, which was like 2002.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think it's just like completely split, right? We went over this back and forth. I know me and you obviously banter on Twitter about it, but
I also knew when I wrote in our group chat, is it goal or whoa? I knew you were going to say whoa because we never agree on the same thing.
But also AJ and Alex both agreed with me. They did the same thing. So it's like,
do they? Because I thought AJ was on my side.
No. He said no, he's right. Like I'm right.
No, I think you were talking about me.
No. I was talking with him after. Should
I call him on the phone?
If you want. No. Don't call him.
I'm calling him.
No, I'm calling him. All right, I'm calling Alex.
Okay, let's do it.
Yo.
You're live on the podcast. Is it goal or whoa?
Excuse me?
You're live on the podcast right now. Is it goal or whoa?
Yeah, it was always goal.
It's always goal. I told you you're on my side,
dude.
I told you.
Cody?
Yeah, Cody thinks that you agree with him. I knew you were agreeing with me.
What, does he not read text messages? Come on.
All right. You're gonna be in the episode. I'm hanging up on you, but thank you for clarifying that. Love you. Have fun. Merry Christmas.
That's it.
Okay. Well, anyways, anyways, the fan base is incredibly split on this. And I told you what my stance was, like way back when I used to think it was whoa, because that's literally what the lyrics say, right? Like,
Yes.
if you're, but so this is what I look at, right? On the record, the past like 2 years or so, I've been saying goal when I realized it's like, I'm like, oh, it actually should be goal.
Which
but
makes more sense.
sure. But whoa sounds better. But it's the same thing, right? Like, if you're writing lyrics and the song is whoa, and you're singing at a bar, Mr. Brightside, are you going to start singing Mr. fucking Light Ride? No, you're not. Just because it sounds better. Like,
that's pretty good. How long ago did you think of that? That's pretty
just
good.
Just now, this moment. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So it's like kind of that scenario. So again, I don't really, and I've said this to you, like, I don't really give a shit what it is. Like, as long as we're scoring goals and can sing it, that's great. And number two is I usually black out during that part anyways and just say the hey, hey, hey. I'm not even kidding. Like, I usually feel like by the time I like get up from like freaking out about the goal, it's already on the hey part. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, whatever floats anyone's boat, but it seems like this is like as close to a 50-50 split across a fan base as you can get, right?
It's pretty crazy. I'm going to play the clip from Ray Castaldi and Valley talking about it as well right now.
Like that. They go on and they yell at me. And so that's totally my favorite moment of work. And I wrote that song too, so that makes me extremely happy to hear it.
Is it goal or whoa? Whoa or whoa? In the goal song. It's goal, right? It's goal over and over and over again. That's the way I hear it. But who knows? I was a goalie.
So you just heard from Ray Castaldi, the guy who wrote the song, and you heard from Valley, but I want to read, this article that kept coming up after, we were tweeting about it. I was tweeting about it for like the last 2 days, and it says, mystery solved. Castaldi said the original intent was to sing goal because that's what the Rangers are scoring, but the recording is whoa. There were 3 or 4 people in the studio doing the vocal tracks on the song. They tried to sing goal as the chorus, but it just didn't sing as well, Castaldi said. Whoa, oh, oh was easier to get sound on than goal, oh, oh was too strained, he said. So record is whoa, but please sing goal, everybody. So
Mr. Light Ride.
Well, no, but I think we have to kind of, set everything straight here, and fans should be like a lot of people are saying, why does it matter? Like, it sounds the same. Like, I think everyone should be saying it right if that's what the intention was, right?
Sure, that's fine. But can I just say you're the most dramatic person of all time for that tweet in general? Never step foot in MSU again. Like, shut up. But anyways, all right. Yeah, that's fine. Again, I've always been like, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. Like, some Rangers fans.
Yeah, but did you ever know it was an argument till now?
No, I didn't.
Neither. So how would you give a shit?
Honestly, I'm sure like 20% of Rangers fans sing "oh" instead of "whoa" or "goal." They're probably like "oh," So it's like, probably. Right? There's those people too. So, but yeah, I think that being said, let's kick it over to my boy Max.
Yep, sounds good.
This week on the Blue Crew, we have on as our guest a great personal friend of mine, a man who I am incredibly happy to have on the show this week, my buddy Max Reilly. What's up, Max?
What's up, guys? Jonny, Cody, how we doing, man? Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas to everyone out there.
I'm excited to be talking to you, but I got to get your social. I don't know who, I got to follow you on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Do you tweet at me? Do you chirp me like Cody does? Like, I don't know.
I chirp. I'll give you, I'll chirp. I don't know my Instagram though, to be honest with you. I have to look at all of them. So
we don't have to do this now. We can do it after we record, but
we'll do it after. Let's do it after. I didn't memorize them all.
All right.
I know first name, last name is in all of them. That's it.
All right, there we go. Well, we can start off with, why don't you tell everyone how you became a fan, how you're liking the show, and we can go from there.
Yeah. No, listen, the show's awesome. I mean, it's what you guys have been doing over the last year has just been incredible. The rise that you guys have taken and grown believe has been epic. I mean, I think I like that. I know I argue with Cody about Yankees all the time, and seeing the difference of opinions between you guys, it's good for a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, you can't always agree.
Well, the funny thing about that is Cody fucking texts me about Aaron Judge. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit about baseball. Like, don't you have anyone else?
He gets so mad at me. He gets so mad.
Text anyone else. I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, everyone different. That's the great thing about
sports. I just want Jonny to know he's inferior. That's basically it.
Well, that's the good thing about sports, though. I mean, everyone's opinion is different, and some opinions are just wildly outrageous, but some of them make sense. And the debate it's a friendly debate, so it's fun. But getting into the Rangers a little bit, yeah, quite transparently, the Rangers, it's been a newer endeavor, I should say. Baseball was always my number one sport growing up, and then it was football, and then it was always a bounce between the Knicks and the Rangers. And I can't do it with the Knicks for the last 3-4 years.
Johnny's a big Knicks fan.
I'm a big Knicks fan as well.
Are you? I just couldn't do it. It was just obviously the Knicks are who they are. They've been playing better as of late, but I just couldn't do it. And my first Ranger game I ever went to was with Cody, and it kind of sparked a little love in the Rangers. And just going to a hockey game live, I've been to all 4 of the big sports now live, and I think hockey's by far the best.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is incredible. MSG is
no argument from us.
Yeah.
I mean, MSG's MSG. It's the greatest arena in sports. So,
but even to that point, like, it's funny. I was actually at the Knicks Warriors game last week, and I was saying like I'm a big Knicks fan, but even going to games, it's like you kind of just chill. Like, you don't have to be like locked in every play. Like, it's not like hockey, like you don't want to miss anything.
No.
Like basketball, like you can just like look at your phone for 2 minutes. Like, you might miss a dunk, but like.
Yeah, but you'll just see it on SportsCenter the next day.
Max,
yeah, exactly.
The one Knicks game I went to, was that with you when I went with Emmett? It was me, Emmett, and one more person. I feel like it was you.
Might have been, dude.
It was against the Sixers. We
got really shitty seats all the way up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We got blown out, I think, too. I don't think it was a good game at all.
No. It was close, and then at the end, they like blew like a huge lead or whatever. But
the Knicks are gonna nick. They're like the Mets.
Oh yeah. I also just want to apologize if anyone's hearing background noise. My dad just walked in with Ben's and a 12-pack
pastrami sandwich.
Oh, there you go. Pastrami and some Stella for Christmas Eve. Nice.
Oh yeah. Nothing says Christmas Eve like pastrami and Stella.
Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, anyways, to touch on the Rangers a little bit, Max. I mean, how do you think the boys have been playing this first half of the season? And who are some of your favorite players on the squad?
Yeah, it's been a tale of two seasons almost in this first half. The last 10 12 games is the Rangers we knew from last year, where any deficit feels like they're going to come back from, and any lead you feel like you're going to hold on to it. I mean, I was just at the Islander Ranger game Thursday. What was it? 2 days ago.
Sick game.
What an incredible game. I mean, from the drop of the puck to the end, obviously it was an incredible game. But I think that those first 10, 15, 20 games, it was just they looked lost.
What'd you pay? $500 a ticket to go to that game?
No, it's funny. I got it through work and I didn't pay a dime.
Oh, nice. I was trying to go and I saw
there were 6
I saw your screenshot.
It was game 5 prices of the first round.
You know what's funny is that I posted a screenshot and I didn't know until after I got out of the game when Cody texted me, my fiance texted me. She's like, nice Instagram. And I was like, what are you talking about? It was just a black screen because there's no service in MSG, or at least I didn't have any. And there was so I didn't post. It was a sick. I posted one of after one of the goals. I think it was
what are you, AT&T?
Yeah. I don't remember.
Virgin Mobile?
No.
AT&T
all the way.
You Virgin Mobile?
I'm Verizon. I have great service in MSG.
Does Verizon work in
oh yeah. Better than Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
you got to get AT&T involved and have them hook up the garden a little bit.
Yeah, seriously. But there's been a big debate as of recent, and Jonny and I just touched on it a little bit, but we would love to hear your opinion on it. So the Rangers goal song is obviously one of the most classic, goal songs in all of sports, I would say personally.
Yeah.
Since you've been a Rangers fan, do you sing goal or whoa?
Can I say one thing quick? I don't trust Cody enough to not think that Cody texted you before this to agree with him.
No, I didn't. Swear to God.
He did not. I would tell you quite transparently, he did not tell me one way or the other. I don't say goal. I can tell you that.
Max is the ower.
I could have guessed. Sure. I could have guessed.
I also don't. I haven't said whoa either. I say oh. I don't know. First time I heard it, I've never heard goal though.
Really?
I'm sure people say it, but
I'm telling you, it's so split, man. It is so split across the fan base. I feel like you have the 10% ower, so that's Max over there, and then you have like 45 goal and whoa.
It's kind of wild. I never would have thought.
I guess that makes me a rookie fan then, saying oh instead of whoa. I'll elevate. Once
Not really.
I'll drop up. I'll go up to whoa.
I guess at this point you just do whatever feels natural. That's what it seems to be.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time you're all boozed up and you just say whatever the hell comes to your mind anyway.
But
So,
I kind of want to rewind a bit though. Can you guys talk about, or Max, from your perspective, what your first Ranger game was like? Like, do you remember who they played? What year it was? I'm curious to hear about
that. I have no idea who they played.
Had to be like 5 years ago now, right?
It was, yeah. I think I was in college, so it was, it was.
No, then that was like 8 years ago.
That
was longer than 5 years ago.
No, because I got a master's degree as well, and I was in college.
Fair.
So that was
Fair.
5
Snap
years
to the
ago.
Masters.
Yeah, a little humble brag. It doesn't mean shit now. Well, I mean, I'm paying back loans. But I don't remember who they played. But it was sick. I mean, I went with Cody. We had 6 seats, and
I like low-key remember who they played.
do you who they played?
Yeah, it was Detroit. It was the Red Wings, and it was when Larkin was a rookie. Because I remember saying to you when Larkin was a rookie, I was like, "This kid's going to be so sick." And he was a rookie.
You know what? I think you're right. I think it probably was Detroit.
Yeah. What, Johnny? How long? When was Larkin rookie? Is that 6 years ago now? 5 years? Something like
Larkin
that. Larkin
was a rookie. I think my
17, 16?
my first year of junior. So that's like 15, 16 maybe, or 14, 15.
I'll tell you right now.
I think I often think like, what my initial feeling would be had I been like just introduced to hockey and like going to the Garden as like, an adult. I mean, I've been going since I'm like 6 years old, but
yeah,
I feel like it's such a crazy perspective to have that first, feeling of hockey, I guess, later on in your life.
Yeah. Well, so I went to a game. I don't know. I was maybe 8 or 9. My dad got tickets from one of his buddies, and we went to an Islander game. Because I obviously growing up on Long Island, that was
$10.
That was it was cheap, and it was closer than going up into the Garden. Again, don't remember who they played, but I remember it might have been the Bruins actually. There was about 7 fights that night, and I was like, this is pretty fucking awesome. I mean, who doesn't like if the Knicks, if they were able to fight in the middle of the game, Julius would square up with somebody, it would be cool. But
Nate Robinson used to get into the mix a little bit.
He did.
Yeah. And who was that psychopath on the was it on the Warriors or the Cavaliers? Not Matt Barnes, the other guy who would something with LeBron's mom. Remember that guy? What was his name? Oh my gosh, Delonte West.
Yeah, he wasn't.
He's like a crackhead, homeless now.
Yeah.
Well, sure, but
he wasn't like a fighter though.
Oh, I don't know why. I thought he was like he would start.
No, there was a rumor that he was like having sex with LeBron's mom, but they were like teammates.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyways,
from hockey,
and that's Cody talking NBA.
Yeah, that's me. There you go. But I'm like convinced I can convince anyone to become a hockey fan who's not a hockey fan if I just take them to a game. Like if you come to a game at MSG and witness that environment, and I feel like it almost happened with you a little bit. Well, it did happen with you, right?
Did.
Like,
yeah, no, it did. I mean, it happened with my father too. The same thing. Cody knows we've been to a game with him. It's one of those environments that everybody.
Our dads together are lethal at a game.
It's hysterical. But it's one of those environments that you're almost forced to pay attention. Well, you are forced.
Yeah.
Like you said, Johnny, it's so back and forth, moving, fast paced. And it's just everybody's so invested in the game. It's not like a baseball game. You sit there for 3 hours and you read the newspaper and then I mean, it's football. It's all of them. But at hockey, it's so different. And it's just, I think the fact that it's a little colder in there too helps because you want to kind of stay.
I don't get that at all.
I don't get that either, but we'll roll with it.
Roll with it. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly. But John, do you have any other questions? Otherwise, I think we can get into the draft.
I guess maybe like one more. I mean, it's always interesting for me, like your favorite moment as a fan.
That's a good one.
You know what? This is going to be a funny story, and I think Cody knows exactly where I'm going to go with this.
Oh, are you about to say when you ran? Oh,
yes, sir.
Okay.
So Cody and I went to a game, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago.
No, dude, like 6 years ago.
No, it wasn't that far. It wasn't that long ago, I don't think. I don't know. Whenever it was, we went to a game. We're walking down the concourse, and one of those girls in the blue crew girls. There you go, Blue Crew girls, the Blue Crew pod. You need a little intermingling. But they're like, you guys want to get on the ice? I was like, hell yeah. So I get on the ice and they dress me up in one of those hockey pucks with the ice picks on my shoes. And I had to run around the ice, and the winner won a free cruise.
No way.
And
Max got smoked.
I got
smoked.
I got smoked. Man enough to admit it. In my defense, this kid, Iceman or
The best kid alive.
This kid, full sprint, Usain Bolt type shit around the ice, didn't fall once. Beat me by like 10 seconds. It was, but that was pretty cool. I mean, it was. How many people get to say they went on the ice at MSG, even though it was intermission and half the people were getting beers, but it was still fun. I mean, I haven't been to a playoff game yet, so that's probably up there.
Ever?
Not for the Rangers, no.
Why would you say ever if you say he's never been to a playoff game?
You're right.
But yeah, no, I mean, listen, I think
I don't know.
it's one of those sports that me being relatively new to it, not that I'm a front runner, but being relatively new to going to hockey games, I think just getting in the environment and seeing, I mean, on Thursday night, it was sold out 18,000 people.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's every night it's sold out. It's just that mentality of every night in, day out. It's going to be an unreal environment. It's almost like a playoff environment during the regular season. Then it just elevates it that much more during the playoffs. So it's incredible.
Yeah,
for sure.
Totally. Well, that was a great experience, but now I think we can get to a better experience and talk about this week's draft. We're going to have Max do this week's draft with us, and the topic for this week is, who is your celebrity crush?
We got to let him go first, right?
Yeah, Max has to go first. Johnny, you go last.
Okay.
Since you went first last 2 weeks in a row.
Uh-huh.
And I'll go second.
That's an easy
three rounds. Let's roll.
Round one of one, Mila Kunis, by far.
Okay.
By far, since I was a little kid, Mila Kunis has been my girl.
All right. So if we're going with oldies but goodies, then I'll go for number 2, love of my life, second love of my life. Cover your ears, Jackie. Blake Lively.
Oh, that's mine.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I love Blake Lively. I loved her ever since I saw Accepted as a kid, and then I obviously watched Gossip Girl in high school.
She had me at Hello at the movie Savages with
phenomenal movie
to watch Savages. You would love it. You would love it. It's with Taylor Kitsch from Friday Night Lights and Aaron Taylor Johnson. You would love it.
Okay, I gotta think now. I mean, I can obviously just go like Jennifer Aniston. That's like the easy next up.
That's
right?
fine.
Like, I feel like that's
all right.
Yeah.
We'll take it. Round 2.
Are we snaking, or is Johnny back up again?
No, you go back.
I'm gonna say, John, you took my next pick. I was gonna go the old Grizzly veteran and Jennifer Aniston.
I feel like she's kind of like the easy number 1 though. You know, like Mila Kunis is. I feel like a second rounder.
Yeah, I would have gone 4th rounder. I think she's
fine. Mila wouldn't think so. If you get her on the pod, she'd pick herself one.
She's a big Ranger fan.
But,
yeah.
See, let's get her on the pod.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go another veteran and like a fine wine, Sandra Bullock, man.
Yeah. I actually watched the Blind Side the other day.
Sandra Bullock
she doesn't do it for me though.
It's going to be amazing if this pick takes Johnny's other pick too, which would be awesome. But I am going to go with a newer crush who's just killing the game right now, Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah,
that doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, me either.
Are you kidding me?
No,
look at her Instagram and then let's talk.
The fascination. I never have.
Gorgeous.
I'm not too into her. I mean, I don't think obviously she's like gorgeous, but I'm not like a Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
I haven't. I also haven't seen Euphoria, so I don't. I can't say for sure that I wouldn't.
That would change your life. Johnny can attest to that. But anyways,
I'm going back to childhood again, and Cody. I feel like Cody's gonna maybe had this one, but Jana Kramer. And if you don't know her by name,
Johnny, that's good. Of course, dude. Friday, One Tree Hill all day.
She's One Tree Hill, but she's also the UCLA girl in Entourage. That's where I was first introduced to her.
Jana Kramer,
gorgeous. That's a good one.
Great country song too. What's I Got the Last? Is that her?
Yeah, yeah. She was my background on my computer in like 7th grade.
That's hilarious. Yeah, so she's my second rounder.
Okay, that's good.
Let's see, man. Now the third round's tough. There's a lot I don't know.
Maybe we should go. I feel like we should go like newer, like up and coming. I guess Sydney Sweeney's kind of that, but
I have my third one, and it's because that's really my number. Okay, I'll go. My third one is actually my like number one overall pick, but I just didn't say her because I knew you guys wouldn't. So for third overall pick, I'm going the third love of my life, Alexandra Daddario.
Oh, is she?
Yes, she is.
She's White Lotus, right? She's
She
season 1 White
is.
Lotus.
She's in White Lotus and True Detective.
I walked past her in the city once.
Dude, I have been on her like since before she was big. Like her very first movie ever was when we were kids, and it was like in that Percy Jackson movie. Like maybe like, do you remember that? Like 15 years ago? Dude, that was like her first movie, and I was like, I love this girl. And ever since then, I've been on her. And then in True Detective, like, dude, she's a dime.
So I'm gonna pay homage to the Jewish religion and go Gal Gadot.
Okay, love it.
Wonder Woman. I mean,
I don't know who that is, honestly.
Yeah, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Everything. She's one of the biggest actresses in the game right now.
You've never seen Wonder Woman?
No.
Jonny, she's in
I don't know. I have no
Fast
idea.
and Furious movies, like
Never seen those either.
on the Mile. Just look her up. You'll know who she is.
I don't know how to
right
spell that name.
It's Gadot. Gadot. That's it.
All right. Well,
She was also in that movie Red Notice with The Rock.
Jonny like doesn't watch TV. He like watches like the news.
I don't watch action.
Yeah, he watches.
Like, Marvel
he watches
doesn't do it for me.
dramas and romance.
the news.
No,
is
I like romance. I don't like.
He's a big fan of the Weatherman.
I don't know what the fuck is that?
Like the Weatherman on the news.
Oh, like actually the news.
Dummy. Yeah.
Like Al Roker. You and Al Roker.
They hang out.
I know who Al Roker is.
All right, who's your third pick? Final pick of the draft. Don't mess it up.
So I like wasn't gonna say it because like my dad's
It's embarrassing.
No, my dad's
celebrity choice.
No. So this is like I
Celeb
don't
shot.
know what the reaction is gonna be. I gotta say like Olivia Rodrigo. I know she's 19, but like love her.
Crickets.
Yeah, she's young, but like I love her.
all
She's
right.
awesome.
Jonny, we'll
I'll give you a
all right,
fourth round
that's
pick
it for this week's episode of
Come on, she's great.
dude, she looks like she's like 14.
She's 19.
Close. Okay, you there were many people you could have said.
Did you just leave? He just hopped off.
left.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. He got upset with Olivia Rodrigo.
Was that bad?
No, I have no idea what she looks like, to be honest.
You don't? Oh, he's back. He's back.
Dude, sorry, I had to take a personal break because that was
You're
tough.
good.
Yeah, but
I like her music. She's a rock star. She's
I mean, you could say like Halsey or someone like
Halsey. What?
Halsey.
No.
Halsey's super hot.
I was just being honest.
All right. We
Hey,
appreciate
that's
honesty
what
on
we
this
asked for is
podcast.
honesty.
Yeah.
We appreciate honesty.
Good draft though.
Who did your dad say? Eva
My dad's
Mendez?
an Eva Mendes.
Dude, she's a
That's
smoke.
not a bad
Bro, she
pick
has the
either.
Goss God, bro. Ryan Gosling would be my guy if I had to choose one. So
He's saying that because I had a crush on her after the other guys, and we were on the same flight as her to Detroit once.
oh, that's cool.
I think
That
he
is
told me to go up and say something. And I don't
Did you
think I
get it? Did you get a kiss on the cheek from her?
No,
Oh,
I would
damn.
never. I would never
Damn.
have said anything.
Damn. Yeah, no,
Um,
you no confidence. But anyways, that's it
Yeah.
for this week's on the draft. And Jonny, you
This
got
is great,
anything
Max.
else?
Nah, Max, appreciate it. It was so nice meeting you, and definitely got to get your like social handles and plug your stuff if you even know it, which you said you didn't.
Yeah, no, guys, appreciate you having me on. It was an honor. Obviously, I love listening to the pod, and it's been awesome. I'm proud of both you guys. It's been
Thank
I know
you.
Believe
Thanks, brother.
and the Blue Crew's been crushing it, and I know my mom's been waiting for the podcast to come out. But I'll throw my socials up there. I'm not as much of a Instagram and Twitter person as Cody is, and
What,
you
are
are.
TikTok?
I'm definitely not a Twitter person at
I'm
all.
a TikTok guy. I love TikTok.
Oh
man.
no, I'm Instagram,
On
but
I'll
Twitter.
throw the Instagram though. It's Max_Reilly24 is the Instagram for all those that want to give me a follow. You'll see some cool stuff on there.
you really sold yourself there.
See some cool stuff.
Listen, if
on
they
there.
want to follow, everyone can follow. I know you guys have some loyal friends
do.
on the pod,
We
and
do.
then the Twitter is just Max Reilly24.
All right,
Same
you heard
thing.
it here first from Max Riley 24.
Thanks, Max. We appreciate it,
Thanks,
dude.
guys. I
man.
appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.
All right,
You too.
later.
Happy holidays. For our second guest on the show today, we want to welcome on a guy that I've gone back and forth with a lot on social media. We DM all the time. We actually haven't met face to face, but very happy to have him on here. Welcome to the show, Jacob Fortgang. If you want to take a second to like introduce yourself. That'd be awesome.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me. First and foremost, happy to be here. You know, it's always nice to be able to chat with some Ranger fans, especially after a big win like last night. You know, me, like Jonny said, we've chatted back and forth. And
a little over a year, I think, like a long time.
So
It's a while.
It's been a good long while. Lifelong Rangers fan. Dad's had season tickets now for about 45 years. Bought it with his bar mitzvah money. Moved from the
Bought
top.
it with his bar mitzvah money?
Bar mitzvah money.
That's awesome.
He went from the top. He was in section. He was second to the top row. And he's like, I want to work my way down. And I've been sitting down in section 2 for about, it's got to be 20 years now.
Must be nice.
Section 2, cat.
It is nice. It's lucky.
I didn't even know they had single digit sections.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, Jonny, it's for the elite. Not you.
But I like to say I think I've seen Henrik Lundqvist up close and personal more than maybe any person in history. So I take that to the grave. But lifelong Rangers fan and big fan of the podcast, and I'm happy that I finally get a chance to come on.
Yeah, man, we're happy to have you. And let's just like jump in right away. So, you know, as someone who's been going to Garden since you're probably born, I imagine, you know, these last couple of years have felt way different than like when we were in high school. I think the expectation wasn't as high, I'd say, when we were younger, but now there's like this certain, you know, connotation around the Rangers that like they have to get it done because if they don't do it now with this team, like it's never going to happen. So, you know, I guess for you this year, as opposed to last year, the expectations are definitely higher. But do you think this team really has what it takes to get it done? Because I think everyone's a little iffy about it.
You know, it's a good question. I think that it's tough to say right now that this team is 100% ready, but unfortunately we have to be.
Yeah.
You know, we're coming up against a cap that we really thought, you know, when we were gathering this team with Gordon and JD, we really expected around this time for the cap to be, I don't know, 95, 94. And then COVID obviously happened. It kind of messed everything up. So this team has to be ready. But what I will say is that back in high school and back earlier in life, we never really had an identity, whether it was you know, the Tom Rennie teams, you know,
who is Tom Rennie?
Exactly.
No, that sounds like a real person.
Yeah, no, yeah. But no, we had you know, Torts definitely had an idea of a team, but this team really seems to have an identity. And, you know, in the beginning of the season, it was a little iffy with the no quit. We kind of carried it over from last year, but it felt like we didn't have that no quit. But I think that
quit.
There's a lot of quit.
A lot of quit.
But I think Drury's putting together a team, and I think the signings of Trocheck, our draft strategy, we kind of want these young, scrappy guys. I wouldn't say Trocheck's young, but he's definitely a scrappy guy, and that's kind of the team that we want to put together. So, you know, you asked the question, do I think we're ready to win? I'm not sure, but do we have to? I think this is the window, and we had a window once, and we didn't capture it, and the window's open again, but we know how quickly it can close.
Yeah. And to add to that a little bit, I mean, would we be ready to win if we had Vladimir Tarasenko on our team? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But
well, listen, I think that what I feel this team is missing is probably a true goal scorer. We got a lot of playmakers on our team, and finally you have Panarin
playmakers.
Zibanejad, which, you know, Zibanejad does have a lethal shot, which is great, but you got a lot of playmakers on this team, and obviously we all talk about Kane and maybe bringing Kane in, but for all intent and purposes, Kane is another playmaker. But when you see Panarin shooting more, you feel a little bit better, maybe reaching out and getting him, but it's tough. It's tough to see he's the right guy. He's a big name, a big splash, but like how many of those guys have we seen in the past that haven't panned out once they put on the blue shirt, you know?
Yeah. I think you're right there. And like, you know, this team really does only have 2 true goal scorers in Mika and Kreider, right? Like that's it. Kakko is supposed to be that guy, but he's not.
I thought Hedl for you is that guy.
Oh, no, Hedl's the clutch guy. Don't twist my words. Okay, so anyways, what'd you say?
He's got that clutch gene. I think Hedl's got that clutch gene.
Yeah, Cody thinks he's Crosby.
Exactly. But anyways, and you know, Jonny thinks like the kids are the next Letang, Crosby, and Malkin. So, but anyways, yeah, I know it's tough.
That was out.
Yeah, sorry, shots fired. But anyways, what I was saying was like I think you're right, and they do need some form of pure goal scorer, whether that's Othman in the future, that would be awesome. He obviously looks the part in the OHL, but he can't come up until who knows when, probably next year if we're lucky. So they do need someone from the time being. And like you said, the cap is incredibly crunched. It's not going up that much, $1 million, and they're going to need to figure some shit out. And on top of that, depending on who they get, like at this point, it almost has to be a pure rental because they literally cannot afford anybody else. So,
yep. I mean, listen, us fans, we play armchair GM all the time.
I don't ever. It's all Cody.
I know. I hear you talk about it all the time. And like, just a true hockey guy that's in you is just like, don't think about the money. Just go out and play the game.
Yeah.
Us kind of just sit there and like, we think we got 17 million, but you got to get Miller back, which I don't know if his play right now has elevated him to the point where we can't pay him, or the fact that he's playing with, a shaky Trouba, which I'm never down on Rangers. So, I believe that he'll find his form, but whether he's injured or what, him playing with a guy who I think they're bottom 3 pairing in the leagues for being on the ice when goals scored. And maybe that helps us. Maybe that gives us a little leverage to maybe get him at a better price, but he's a good young player. You got to go out and you got to sign Laugh. You got to go out and, we got here. Here's the thing. I love Laugh. I love Laugh. I think that Laugh is fantastic.
So do we.
I know that you guys do. And I think what's tough about Laugh right now is that he hasn't really shown that first overall pick ability, which doesn't necessarily mean you got to score 50 goals or you got to go out and get 100 assists, but it's when those games come in crunch time, like who's going to go and get that puck deep and who's going to go and win that board battle. And I just, you're not seeing it from him right now.
Right.
I agree with you guys. You say it all the time. Get him on PP1. If he was on another team, he would
be on pace for 52 points.
Absolutely. He'd be on power play 1. We would all have a different tune about him. But I think that he's just the ultimate kind of team guy. You always see him smiling on the bench. You always see him,
the chin strap thing, that was fucking hilarious the other night.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's great. And, he's, for a kid that young to kind of be able to go into a team with some real hardcore veterans who've played some big minutes and show up, especially in the playoffs, it's important. Yeah. But I think the toughest thing with me when it comes to Laugh is it's hard to really put it into one thing. It's not skating. It's not shooting. It's just
he's the prettiest skater in the league.
According to Jonny. And I
can't take him anywhere.
I just think what it is, you guys said last podcast, he goes missing during games. But, I watched Crosby for years, and that guy goes missing. But then he pops up right at the side of the net when no one is looking and taps one in.
Yeah.
And, it's fine to go missing, but you got to put yourself in those positions. And I saw it last year. He was definitely doing it. Definitely saw it during the playoffs. But this year, it doesn't seem like he's confident enough to get into the middle. And I don't know if that comes with time or comes with, getting a couple goals on your stick. I mean, Jonny, you can maybe tell me, it's tough to see, but I can't give up on him. I just think that you can't look at a guy that young and say, yeah, he's a bust, or yeah, he's not going to figure it out. I think he's got too much hockey smarts, and he's got a good frame, and he's just going to get bigger and better.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
honestly,
sorry, Jonny. I had to jump in because, did you think Jonny scored goals in college?
I had 10. I had
Just
10 over 4 years.
All right. All you, John.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny too because we were saying that, and then we recorded right before that Blackhawks game, and that was probably Laugh's best game of the year. And then another guy who I've been watching quite a bit because I love watching the Oilers late at night is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who was a number 1 overall pick, and he's by no means like a household name across the league, but he's still very effective on the Oilers, and he's been there for I think almost 10 years now. I don't know.
He had tons of criticism too.
Yeah, he was a 2011 number 1 overall draft pick. So that could be Lafreniere's trajectory where he's just a solid role player that can produce. That could be his career. And listen, if the Rangers win, that's fine.
Right. It's tough to hear that in New York. We're always looking for the big star and the big grab and the big splash. But who wins the Stanley Cups is Barclay Goodrows and Steve Larmer's, guys who finish their checks, guys who get in deep, and guys who can, when they need to, get dirty and get in front of the net, because come playoff time, you're not going to score those Connor McDavid getting through 5 goals unless if you're Connor McDavid.
And he was great in the playoffs, I thought, Lafreniere.
Absolutely. And I completely agree. I think that those are the guys that you want. Obviously, you look at a first overall pick and you want him to be the best guy on the ice every single night. But if he continues to play his role and get bigger and get better and become a top 6 winger, I can't see why you would want to get rid of him now. I think you got to give him the time.
Yeah, the upside is obviously there. Nobody is, doubting that, right? Like nobody's doubting that this guy could be a superstar. He just needs to figure it out. I also love Johnny's RNH comparison because
do you actually love it? I thought you were going to talk shit.
I am going to talk shit because you're comparing him. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has 41 points in 35 games right now. So he's been in the league for 10 fucking years. I know. I'm just laughing, but no, it is a good comparison. Another one is Heishier, right? Like he's another guy who was a number 1 overall pick and took time, and now he's a really good player. So I think they just need to figure it out with him. And to your point, that obviously means that one of, Hedel or Keandre are going to get the boot, because there's just no way you're fitting all 3 at this point unless something changes. But
yeah. And I just want to ask, not to change topics right away, but we do have a lot of fan questions we want to get into.
Yeah, let's roll.
And I know Jacob also wants to tell us Bill Daly's story, but before that, we have to set one thing straight, because we had Max Reilly on before, who is Cody's friend. He's like a newer Ranger fan. You've been born into it. Your dad had season tickets for 45 years, you said. And the argument for this episode has been, is it goal or is it woe for the goal song? It's been argued like the last 3 days. I don't know.
Goal.
It's goal, right? Like goal. To me, that was never an argument, but apparently half the fucking Ranger population thinks it's woe. So
no. Cody, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah. What do you think, Cody said?
So I told Jonny, like, funny enough, I used to, first and foremost, I told him the same thing. I don't care. Like, I don't care. As long as we're scoring goals, who cares?
You're wrong.
But second of all, what I did tell him was, like, I used to think it was woe, and then like a couple years ago, I realized it's actually goal.
I love
and
it.
I've been chanting goal for the past couple years.
Well,
Cody's buddy Max says, "Oh," he doesn't even say "whoa" or "goal." He says, "Oh."
To be fair, like I said, 90% of the fans probably fucking black out for the goal anyways and just start taking hey. Like is that not completely accurate?
Yeah.
Like
that's fair. I've definitely been in like a group mob hug.
Yeah.
I've gotten ready for the haze.
Exactly. By the time I stand up, I'm already chanting hey. So it's like,
All right, that's fair.
Bad news.
But Jonny was mentioning before, I got the ability to, I sit down in the
section
little
2
garden, section 2.
Section 2 3/4.
Yeah, I'm over in the Delta Club, and Bill Daly shows up a bunch because you got the headquarters right across the street.
Yeah.
And during our kind of, I'd say our slump, we definitely had a slump this season.
Yeah.
Right near the tail end of it, I was able to kind of chat with Bill Daly. I've seen him a few times and we've talked. And I asked him, I said, everyone's kind of down on Gigi right now. He's been unable to hold a job for a few years, whether it was Vegas, where he made the cup final, and then 2 years later he's gone.
Right.
Florida, which he had kind of a bum deal, but he was out of there pretty quickly. And I just was wondering, why is it that he can't hold down a job? Is this what it is? The team, he kind of loses the team. He doesn't really coach. He lets the assistants coach. And he looked right in my eyes and he's like, you do not have to worry about this team. And I said, you're telling me that while we're losing? He's like, you do not have to worry about this team. And I was like, we look slow. We look behind the pace. We don't look ready to come out. We start every game on the back foot. Like, what are you seeing that I'm not? And he said, this team has veterans and has a coach that is allowing his team to find their groove.
Yeah.
And then he said to me something that was interesting. He's like, look at how many posts that you guys hit this season. And I looked it up, and we have the most posts by a huge margin.
Is that true?
Yeah, by a huge
margin. 5 a game, Jonny. We hit like 5 posts a game.
Strome, I think at this point, I can't look at that. I can't think of the stat right now, but I think it's like over 20 posts this season. But by a wide margin, we have
Strome.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry, not Strome.
Sorry.
I was like, he's hitting posts.
No. Yeah, he's still hitting posts for us on empty nets. But no, Trocheck has the most posts in the league, and at some point, those got to hit the other side, and they got to hit the back of the net. And wouldn't you rather get rid of them now than in the playoffs?
Oh yeah,
totally. Oh yeah.
I think that what Mr. Daly said that really stuck with me is you don't have to worry. And these guys, it's an old boys club. They know how these guys coach. They know how these guys do it.
Yeah.
And right after that, it was the Trouba tossing the helmet.
Yep.
It was Igor taking accountability, which was huge to see. You know, Hank really never took accountability, but Igor after that game saying, it's on me. It's the goalie's fault.
Actually, a good point, too. Hank really never said it's on me. I feel
No, never. Hank used
well, it
to
never really was.
true.
Fair.
Carried a team for 15 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, he took accountability and he said, it's my fault. And I think that's a big part of this team is these guys don't like losing. Nobody likes to lose, but these guys really don't like losing. You saw it with Mika and Kreider at the end of the season. Mika is a really big voice, I think, in the locker room about understanding that you don't get many chances and you don't get many times where you get back. Considering he came to a team that was rolling, and then lost to the Senators and hadn't gotten back for a while. It's I think these guys get it and they know. And I think that we have to kind of understand the ship is being righted, moved in the right direction. And that's all we can kind of hope for. And we just got to hope that the young guys keep playing the way that they're playing. Schneider keeps playing the way he's playing because, oh my God, is he absolutely incredible to watch.
Yeah.
It's
actually the first fan question we got. We'll go into that.
Oh,
after.
yeah? All right. Well, let's hop right into it then.
Oh, you can finish your thought. Yeah, finish your thought.
No, I think that it's nice that we can all take a breath right before the new year because we were all scared and GG was on the hot seat and everyone was saying, we're not going to get anybody coming to us. We're not contenders. The team was a fluke last year. And I
Literally
think
Jonny. So, okay.
Yeah. Fair.
It's okay.
Fair.
I own it.
All right, let's send it.
So let's go to the first fan question from Sorkin Matthew. Is Braden Schneider deserving of some PK time? And Merry Christmas, fellas. And Jacob, we'll let you answer the first for all three of these.
Yeah, sure. Yes, absolutely. He deserves PK time. He should be thought of as a vital role for this team. He's playing bottom 3 minutes. He has changing pairs. You know, his left side is different every game, but he shows up every single game. And the mark of a great defenseman. Obviously, you got Fox, who's unbelievable, but a mark of a great defenseman in my mind is you don't talk about him and you don't hear from him. It's those guys like the Girardi, like the Mark Stalls, who I've always really loved, but it's those guys who you don't hear about and you don't have to worry when they touch the ice. And Schneider's one of those. So of course, give him PK minutes. I think even if you want, you can maybe grow him into a PP guy if he learns to develop a shot. But
his shot's good. It's his hand. He's not very skilled, but his shot's
he's not going to keep the line very well. But if you put him on the point and you have someone else up there, maybe hold it. You never know.
Yeah. I think you pretty much covered it. I think he deserves some PK time, right? At one point we were giving Kevin Rooney PK time, so I think there should be no argument for Schneider getting some as well.
So let's go into the next one, and this one I love. He's my third favorite player on the team. From Jonathan Fry 99, thoughts on Gautier's season so far? And just to be clear, he has, I think, 8 points, 5 goals, 3 assists in 24 games.
Wow, those are mind-blowing stats.
I mean, for the ice time he gets, it's not bad.
For the ice time, it's actually pretty great. I always said he reminds me of young Kreider. Obviously, Kreider came in and had a super, super dynamic playoff series, but the guy was getting breakaways, big power forward, but couldn't score. And I think Gauthier has that mentality of let me get this puck and take it to the net. Again, another huge guy who would be really helpful in the playoffs because you never know, a puck being taken to the net, something slips, something falls, there's a dirty play and you just jam it in there. Do I think that he's a top 6 winger? No, but you need bottom 6 guys. And I'm very happy with the way Gauthier is playing. I think that the team could use him and he definitely has skill. I think that if you look at it and you say, we're paying Sammy Blais, what is it? $1.5 million for basically just a bet. Like you could,
body.
Yeah. For a body in a sweater.
Body.
Yeah. For a big body in a sweater, I'd rather have Gauthier out there who can maybe just throw a puck at the net and maybe something pops loose. Maybe he pops one in. So
Yeah.
Also, just to put things. Oh, sorry, Cody. You
go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say, just to put things in perspective, Julian Gauthier has as many even strength goals as Mika Zibanejad and Vincent Trocheck.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. But anyways,
is that not like a
well, it's a good stat.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good stat. Nobody's arguing. He definitely deserves to be on the team and getting play time more than Sammy Blais does. That's for sure. I mean, that guy's pretty much a waste of space. I disagree with the young Kreider statement, but I would.
Same physical ability.
Yes, physical specimen and speed. Sure, I would argue he's more of like a Hagelin, but
I disagree completely.
Why?
I think he's way more like Kreider than he's like Hagelin.
Okay, all right, that's fine. I would say he was more like a Hagelin, like Grabner type of guy who had the speed.
Grabner's actually the best comparison, probably.
Yeah, sure.
Of the three.
All right.
If he could play the PK like Grabner did,
Until Grabner came to us, and then he started scoring like a machine. But I think the more time this kid gets, hopefully the better he is. And I just really think he needs, like, you're right, we need bottom six guys, and he's a guy who fits the bill. And if he's putting one in every, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, like, that's good enough for me,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd rather have Gauthier play on the first line than Gaudreau. I think he's more of a fit for that.
We touch Gaudreau, right? Gaudreau's he's the plug and play. He's the,
he can fit anywhere. Yeah.
Versatile guy who can, he's the Swiss Army knife, right? He's the Swiss Army knife. You can put him anywhere you want. And that's fine. And that's fine. Like, that's what we need him for. And he's pretty much just going to fill that spot until we get Vladimir Tarasenko.
Yeah.
I want to touch on Gaudreau. I want to touch on Gaudreau very quickly because I agree. He's a plug and play guy, but he's a willing plug and play guy. And that's almost
totally
more important.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're rewarding him with these top 6 minutes, like, he'll take that. He won't take that for granted. Where some other guys might go up there, and then if they get put down, they'll be upset. They'll be pissy. He doesn't. And that's the type of leadership that you need. And you need to look at it where Kreider's playing third line minutes. You got Trocheck playing third line minutes. Like, you got to throw out the lines nowadays. You just got to get the best players playing with the best people. Do I think Gauthier is a top 6 winger, or Gaudreau is a top 6 winner? I don't know. Do I think Gauthier is? I don't know. But Jimmy,
neither of them are. Let's be clear.
Yeah. But Jimmy Vesey.
But if you had to put them there,
yes. If you had to make a choice, I think Gauthier definitely is a good big body. But yeah,
it's not the choice you want, but it's the choice we have.
Yeah.
Until Tarasenko gets here.
Exactly. So the last fan question we're going to have this week, and this is actually a really good one from Pete Maloney 82. What would y'all rank the players on the kid line 1 to 3? Jacob, take it away.
Kakko's number 1.
Yeah, that's obvious.
I think we're all aligned with 1 through 3. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Kakko's number 1. Again, I absolutely love Laugh, but if you're talking about right now, this minute,
we're all aligned.
You got to put Hugh number 2, and then you got to put Laugh number 3. But I think that once he finds that scoring touch or gets a little confident, or maybe when the games start to get a little more important, which you hate to say that because you want to believe every game's important, but maybe later in the season you'll see Laugh kind of coming into his own and throwing the body around a bit more.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we all agree it's got to go Kakko, then Hedl, then Laugh.
Yeah. I think anyone who's watched this team all season, if you say anything else, it's,
Yeah. But you know what's funny? You could kind of argue in terms of tradability, like it would be the opposite, right? They would hang on to Laugh more than anyone else. And then Hedl, I feel like, has played himself from those playoffs into like such an asset for this team that they won't want to trade him. And that's why, like, last year you heard all those rumors about, like, Kakko for Kane or whatever. So it's kind of funny how that twists about a little bit. And now Capo's playing incredible.
Anytime I tweet a clip of Kakko scoring a goal, I'll like there's at least 3 replies that say he's going to look so good in a Blackhawks jersey. Every time.
The worst. It's Serge Kakko. That's where I live.
Yeah.
Every time.
But, I think that to say one last thing before we go, if this is it for me, but
if this is it for me,
you're done.
We're not executing you.
Say your last words. You have one line. You have one line left. One statement to say to Rangers fans before you go.
Okay. This team is a goal scorer away, and we might have to give away a Phillip Heedle and a Jones
Mhm.
and a first round pick to get there.
Mhm.
And it will sound terrible now, but we got to get to the promised land.
You heard it here first from
Yeah.
Jacob Fortgang.
No, I think that's kind of everyone's on the same page with that. I feel like, just what you got to do.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Before we do let you go, do you want to plug anything or, anything? Social
I
media?
wanna plug the Blue Crew podcast. It's absolutely unbelievable.
Piss
But
ass.
also,
Right.
also, Blue York, I think is great. It's an
Thanks.
unbelievable website. I know
Wow.
We Bleed Blue has got kind of like a stronghold where in the garden, but I love everything that comes out of there. I wear it all the time. Today I'm not, but we wear it all the time. And I want to shout out, I know you had Avery on here. Avery's a good friend of mine. So I want to give him a shout out and shout out to my dad for making me a Rangers fan.
Shout out to Mr. Fortgang. All right.
Love that.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it. And, thanks for being a loyal listener.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Jacob. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
We want to thank Max and Jacob for coming on. Always fun to have different perspectives and have some of our listeners on the show. Not much left to say. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and New Year's is coming up next weekend.
And Happy Hanukkah.
That's right. We're definitely going to have an episode, I think, after New Year's. Are we, Cody? Do you want to do that?
Possibly. We'll talk about it because I'm going to be in Florida. But
I'll be in Boston.
Maybe we'll keep you guys posted. But Johnny, I think the last note I want to end on is next week we have 3 games. And it feels like every single week we're playing a contender nowadays. So next week we have the Caps, Tampa, and Panthers. What are your predictions for the 3 games?
Also, I'm just so happy that we're playing against the Capitals. And Ovechkin already broke the record because I thought for sure he was going to do that in the Garden.
It would be a lock.
You said who? You said Caps,
Lightning, and Panthers.
Lightning and Panthers are both in Florida, right?
Yes.
I think we beat the Caps at home. I'm going to say 4-2. Depending on who the Lightning start, probably Bassey. I'm going to say that's a 3-1 Tampa win. Or are we going? Should I be going all 3, or do you want to go?
Oh yeah, go all 3. That's fine.
I feel like we typically do one each. And
That's
then
fine.
I think for Florida, I think we spanked them like 5-1.
Okay, that's good. 2-1. I feel like we've been pretty consistent, like same record the past few weeks, whatever. I disagree with you. I think we are gonna beat the Caps 3-1. I think we are gonna beat Tampa also 3-1 because we play during the regular season against them very well, and we have the last 2 seasons in a row.
What did I say?
You said Tampa would beat us 3-1, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I agree. And then I think we're going for the trifecta next week. And I think we do beat Florida. And I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I don't know why I feel like it's going to be a lock game, but who knows?
Well, no, Florida also generates like the most scoring chances in the league. Like,
yeah. So I'm going to go 5-3 Rangers.
Okay. I like
You heard it here first.
So as far as next week's episode, we don't know if we'll post one yet. I guess we'll just keep you guys posted on that, but definitely look out for it. So big week coming. Hope everyone has a happy new year, and we love you guys.
LFGR, baby.